intellectual husband had trained her. Mike Stearns was a trade union leader in his origins, so unlike Rebecca, he had learned long ago that the best tactic in negotiations is often simply to say nothing. Let the other side do most of the talking, he'd told her. On average, I'd say anyone's twice as likely to screw up with their mouth open than closed. The cardinal, of course, was quite familiar with the ploy himself. Silence lengthened in the room. For an intellectual, silence is the ultimate sin. So again Rebecca found herself forced to keep it zipped. She took refuge in memories of her husband. Mike, standing in the doorway to their house in Grantville, his face somewhat drawn and unhappy as he bid her farewell on her diplomatic journey to France and Holland. The same face, she found this memory far more comforting, the night before, in their bed. Something in the smile which came to her face at that memory defeated the cardinal. Richelieu's smile never wavered, true, but he did take a deep breath and gently but firmly set the kitten down on the floor and left off his idle playing. The ring of fire, as you call it, which brought your Americans and their bizarre technology into our world, was enough to confuse anyone, madame. But further reflection, especially with further evidence to base it upon, has led me to the conclusion that I was quite in error to label your, if you will forgive the term, bizarre new country the product of witchcraft. Richelieu paused for a moment, running his fingers down his rich robes. Quite inexcusable on my part, really. Once I had time to ponder the matter, I realized that I had veered perilously close to Manichaeanism. With a little chuckle, and how long has it been since that heresy was condemned? A millennium and a half, and here I claim to be a cardinal. Rebecca decided it was safe enough to respond to the witticism with a little chuckle of her own. Nothing more than that, though. She could practically feel the cardinal's magnetic personality drawing her in, and didn't doubt for a moment that Richelieu understood the power of his own charm quite well. By all accounts, the cardinal was a chaste man, but seduction was a term which had more than one application. Time after time, Richelieu's rise to power and influence had been eased by that personal grace and charm, and, with other intellectuals, the suppleness of his mind. Were she not, for all practical purposes, the envoy of a nation at war with Richelieu, she would have enjoyed immensely spending a few hours with one of Christendom's most prodigious intellects discussing the theological implications of the strange event which had brought an entire town of people into 17th century Europe from a place centuries in the future called the United States of America. Silence, woman. Obey your husband. And that thought, too, reinforced her own serene smile. In truth, Mike Stearns was very far removed from a patriarch. He would be amused, Rebecca knew, when she told him of her self-admonition. "I will be good goddamned, you mean that for once you listened to me?" It was another little defeat for Richelieu. Something in the set of his smile, a trace of stiffness, told her so. Again the cardinal ran fingers down his robe and resumed speaking. "No, only God could have caused such an incredible transposition of time and space. And your term, the ring of fire, seems appropriate." Very serene now, his smile. "As I'm sure you are aware, I have long had my agents investigating your United States in Thuringia. Several of them have interviewed local inhabitants who witnessed the event. And indeed they, too, simple peasants, saw the heavens open up and a halo of heatless flame create a new little world in a small part of central Germany. Still," he said, abruptly, holding up a hand as if to forestall Rebecca's next words, which in fact she'd had no intention of speaking, "still, the fact that the event was of divine origin does not lead to any certain conclusion as to its purpose." And here it comes, thought Rebecca, the new and official party line. She was privileged, she realized. Her conversations with the courtiers at the royal audience the night before had made clear to her that France's elite